as a young man, I came to British Columbia because this was a place to be in Canada. People from across the country were coming here. There were great projects underway, building the Bennett Dam, the Columbia River projects, highways. This was a bustling place. The wages were high. You knew if you came to British Columbia that you could make a living for your family and create a future for yourself. And we lost that in the dark days of the 90s when the NDP were in power. More people were leaving British Columbia to seek their fortune elsewhere in Canada than were coming here. You know, British Columbians, young people that grew up here, went to school here, that had ambitions, didn't believe that they could fulfill those ambitions here in British Columbia, and we're in the same boat again. They just don't believe that there's a future for them here in this province. We've got to change that. We've got to turn that thinking around. We've got to create opportunities here and make sure that government's doing everything it can to create opportunities here for our young people to create futures for themselves here in British Columbia. Well, I think that if you're not taking British Columbia Conservative seriously, look at the options. Look at the legacy of the NDP in the 1990s. Look at the legacy of the Liberals this last while in government. They've been there for too long. They're looking out for their friends, but they're not looking out for you. We think that that's what we need in Victoria, is a government that's going to look out for you, make life better for you. And that's what we want to do. Our vision of British Columbia is a place where everybody in Canada wants to come.
Who we got here? This is Duchess. Duchess is Aaron's dog. She's a good one. Friends of his own. And this is Marley. She's the granddaughter. Yeah. And Sue.
And I would
my
be your
wife.
wife.
My good wife. And over here we have Aaron.
Marley's
my
mommy.
daughter. Well, we were in Delta for over 20 years and moved there from Langley, actually. And my daughter got into horses at a very young age. And then about 5 or 6 years ago, we bought her the first horse, that Festival that you saw earlier. You just can't beat country life in Langley. We really enjoy it here. It's a real family operation. Erin and her husband have the suite in the basement, and they're always busy working on it. And Karen's living with us, and but we all chip in and do our little bit, and it's a really nice feel to have a family operation where everybody's working together. So I joined the Reform Party back, I guess, in 1987, in the fall of '87, and was quite active in it. I ran for the Reform Party in 1988, was elected to the National Executive in 1989. I served 2 terms on that. And then in '93, of course, I was elected as a reformer and went to Ottawa. I guess ever since then, politics has been the focus of my life. Everything seems to revolve around it. It almost takes precedence about everything that you can do. That being said, we remember that we've got a wife and we got kids, and that has to be our priority. So we always try to make our political life fit within the realities of family, and we've, I think, been relatively successful that way. The whole business, I guess, of getting involved in British Columbia politics came about naturally. There were a number of issues that had arisen over the years that sort of melded, if you will, federal and provincial interests, and those interests I found quite captivating because they impacted very closely on life here in British Columbia, and the quality of life issues is most importantly. And that's, in a sense, what attracted me to provincial politics, was that the issues that you deal with were not distant and far away, but they were close to home, and they impacted on the quality of life of your family and so on, and the opportunities that were available to your children. It just seemed to be a natural fit for me, and so we gradually shifted our attention and took the opportunity, if you will, to get more involved in provincial politics by taking on the leadership role in the BC Conservatives. The election campaign that's underway in British Columbia is a 3-way race between British Columbia's Conservatives, the Liberals, and the NDP. I'm convinced at the end of the day on May 14th, there will be a Conservative government in Victoria. We have the vision, the candidates, and the determination necessary
to form the next government of British Columbia. A government that will provide the kind of positive change that British Columbians deserve.